All right, Rob, let's talk about two or three issues. Odell and the Giants. I defended Odell. It is okay to talk about a relationship if you've been in it a long time, especially if you were dumped/traded. I don't have a problem when somebody asks Odell about the Giants, referencing the New York Giants situation. He was the juice. He was their best player. He propped up Eli. He said yesterday, I felt disrespected. I was the main reason keeping that brand alive. It bothers you.
It does from this standpoint. Disrespected. They gave you the highest contract for any wide receiver. Was that disrespect? Come on. This is a guy, if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm not feeling good about the whole thing. It's obvious he hasn't gotten over New York and he doesn't want to be in Cleveland. Can I remind you something? LeBron James is from the Cleveland area and left the town twice. I mean, so this to me tells me he's not over New York. He got there and he's like, the football situation might be better, you know, with the players and the quarterback compared to the Giants, but the whole idea of living in Cleveland and not being in New York anymore is starting to sink in. And I think that's why. And just because somebody asks you, Colin, a question doesn't mean you have to answer it. So I'm not saying he can't talk about it with his friends and family. He could say, I'm not talking about the Giants. I'm not there anymore. I'm in Cleveland. I'm here to win a championship or whatever, and let it be. He sounds like a scorned lover. That's what he sounds like.
All right, that's fine. We can disagree on that. Ezekiel Elliott, I think he's a lot of noise. I think he's got 2 years. He's already been a first-round pick, so Zeke's not one of these running backs who's never been paid. Zeke's been paid handsomely. He was a top 5 draft pick. 2 years out, he wants more money. I would consider strongly moving him for picks and players.
You can't do that, Colin, from this standpoint. Look at the numbers the difference when he plays with Dak and when he doesn't play. It's a totally different team. And Dak isn't the same quarterback. They're 4-4, 28-12 with him. He moves the needle. The Cowboys need him. The Cowboys should pay him. And don't talk about the off-the-field stuff. It's already obvious Jerry Jones turns the other way from that. So you can't use that now because he's gone out and signed all kinds of people with problems throughout the years. Will you agree with that?
So who are you not going to pay? Amari Cooper, Dak last year. Dak, since Amari Cooper showed up, is 7-2 with him, 3-4 without him.
Yeah, but you're not factoring in the Zeke as the running back, and he's more important. That opens it up so that he can throw to Amari Cooper. I'm telling you, it would be a mistake not to have
you trust Zeke with money. Zeke with the rookie money has been irresponsible. Poor judgment.
I get it, but I'm talking about the football part, and you're right, and all the other stuff. But if you're Jerry Jones, are you trying to win another Super Bowl or not? Everybody made fun of Le'Veon Bell and what he went through because they use up the running back and they don't want to pay you, right?
Right.
And then in Pittsburgh, everybody goes, well, it didn't matter. James Conner, and they didn't even miss Le'Veon. They missed the playoffs. How can you say they didn't miss them? You're telling me that the Steelers would have missed the playoffs if Le'Veon Bell played all year? Not a chance. So it does matter. These guys are creme de la creme. We're not talking about a 4th or 5th round pick off a scrap heap who just happens to have a decent year. You need good running backs. Ask the Patriots. Where would they have been without Sonny Michel last year? They wouldn't have won the Super Bowl, I'll tell you that.
No, he was very valuable. He was a great find for them. Okay, Cleveland Browns. I get, sometimes people say I'm a hater, but I find it interesting, the team that gets hot in the offseason. So Cleveland was 1-5 against winning teams. They added a star receiver to already a great receiving group. They added a star running back to already a great running back group. They didn't address their offensive line. They have a rookie head coach. It's the youngest team in the league. Expectations through the roof. I think they're a team at the end of the year that is fighting to get into the playoffs. Many people subscribe to they're a Super Bowl class operation. Do you think they are?
No way, no how. And I know people don't want to hear that in Cleveland, and I get it. They've been so terrible for such a long time, so people are against hope. And you're right. Go look at who they beat a year ago. The one game that they won against a team that finished over 500 was Joe Flacco early on in the year when they won the game 12-9.
And
they didn't beat it.
And he was benched later.
Right. They didn't beat anybody. So I want to see them beat some good teams first before you start talking about going to the Super Bowl. And I could see this thing blowing up. Landry Jarvis, right, is the one who made the connection already with Baker Mayfield.
Well, it's funny. I was listening to a show this morning driving in. I don't even know the name of the show, but he was talking about Jarvis Landry and Odell at LSU. Odell was the talent, but Jarvis was the volume catcher at LSU. Jarvis is a 90-catch guy with no drama around him.
And this is what I'm saying. So what happens if Jarvis is that guy that Baker Mayfield already has a connection with, feels good and starts throwing the ball mostly to him? Now OBJ's not happy. Now you have an issue going on. And you're right. The moves that they made were splashier, better, all the other stuff that gets you attention. And people go, wow, they're loaded. I get all that. But it doesn't mean that it all fits together, and you're right. And a first-year head coach as well. Is he going to be able to handle the personalities and handle the situation? I think this has a chance of blowing up. I'm going to say that they do not, N-O-T, make the playoffs, the Browns.
Okay. I agree with you, but I think it's close. I think it goes down to week 16, week 17. All right, so every year, I love this because I love lists and I love quarterbacks. So Mike Sando comes out for The Athletic, and he interviews 55 NFL coaches and executives contributed to the survey by placing quarterbacks in tiers. Tier 1 is that you can carry a team each and every week, regardless of weaknesses around the roster. And Tier 1, I don't disagree with any of these. Let's talk about just the group as a whole. Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Brees, Mahomes, Luck, Rivers, Ben, Russell. I completely agree. Now, Carson Wentz, I think, is a Tier 1 talent, but he's been hurt too much, so you can't put him in there. Deshaun Watson could be a Tier 1 talent. I don't know. Offensive line, had some injuries, so I think it's fair. Do you have a problem, Rodgers over Brady? Because I think Tom is separated from Aaron in terms of leadership, coachability, evolving his game, injury-free, adapting. I think Aaron is not the quarterback he was 3 years ago.
I totally disagree. I think Aaron Rodgers is head and shoulders above Tom Brady. And I think what people get caught up with Tom Brady, and I get it, he's won 6 Super Bowls. And if you're giving out a Lifetime Achievement Award, yes, Tom Brady. But if you're just talking about right here for this season, which quarterback is better, Tom Brady can't make the throws that Aaron Rodgers can make. He dinks and dunks, and the running back runs for 20 yards after he catches a 3-yard pass from Tom Brady. Tom Brady can't make those throws. Go back and look at the film of the Super Bowl and see a 41-year-old decrepit quarterback who had no touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 fumble, and threw for less than 200 yards. That's Tom Brady.
Yeah, he won
that's
the game.
last time they did win the game.
Yeah.
But that's the last time we saw them. And why don't you want to look in the mirror and look at him and say, that's what Tom Brady is? I've been saying for years he's going to fall off the cliff. You saw the video, him and his daughter. They fell off the cliff. It's over for Tom Brady. We got the video proof finally.
No, my thing is I don't like being marginalized as an Aaron Rodgers hater, but I do think there are things that you can't deny. Green Bay in the last 8 years has had 8 Pro Bowl appearances by an offensive lineman. Better than New England. Pro Football Focus has a Packer in the top 10 running back and receiver. Brady does not. They've always been above average special teams. This idea that Aaron's had to carry bad rosters. Now, the defense.
Oh, I'm going to say,
okay,
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah, now the defense, the organization has gone full on free agency draft defense last 2 years. Yes, Aaron has not always had Tom's level of defensive support, but Tom has not had star backs, star receivers, Pro Bowlers on the offensive line.
Yeah, but the only difference is when you go into postseason, go look at the games that Green Bay's lost in the postseason, where the defense has given up 40-plus points 3 or 4 times during Aaron Rodgers' career. It happened to Tom Brady once, I guess, against Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, just one time where the defense let him down, and I think that's what the added burden. Defensively, the Packers have been bad, and Aaron Rodgers still gave them a chance to win because he's that good. Here are the only 2 stats you need. Aaron Rodgers has the best quarterback rating of any quarterback in the history of the National Football League. Not the last 10 years, not the last 5 years, the history of the league.
More than Y.A. Tittle.
Yes, and he has the best touchdown to interception ratio of any quarterback, and it's not even close. 4-1. Tom Brady's like 2.5-1. It's not even close. He has all the skills, all the tools. He can make every throw. He's accurate. He's mobile. He can do it all. And if he was on the New England Patriots and they were cheating for him, he probably would have won 10 Super Bowls.
Oh, Lord. You know, Joy, it was going so well.
Somehow, no matter what the conversation is, we can be talking about NBA free agency. It'll somehow come back to that.
By the way, you're a New Yorker. You're from Queens. My theory on quarterbacks as they age, when you see a decline, you got to do the Band-Aid test. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. It's painful, but the healing starts. The Giants... By the way, the Colts did this with Peyton. Ripped it off and watched Peyton go to 2 Super Bowls. It's painful. Niners watched Joe Montana go to the playoffs. Packers watched Favre almost get to the Super Bowl. You got to rip the Band-Aid off with old, eroding quarterbacks, injuries, erosion. The New York Giants, your team growing up, they pull the Band-Aid off. It hurts a little, and they put the Band-Aid back on. They announced yesterday no quarterback competition in camp.
Absolutely ridiculous, and this is why the Giants are living in the past. This whole Eli thing, I get it. He won 2 Super Bowls. He beat Tom Brady twice. He'll forever be. He's going to the Hall of Fame. I get all that. But you can't live in the past. Eli is bad. He's been bad for years. And even last year, he had like a bounce back because they were already out of the season, and then he had some games at the end. People were like, oh, well, his numbers weren't that bad. No, it was once the season was over, Eli started putting up some numbers. He's finished. And the sooner that they get to this, look at you just named, all the great quarterbacks, Colin, have all been shown the door and asked to go elsewhere.
By the way, New England was very close to moving on Jimmy Garoppolo. Remember, that's where the schism created because Bob Kraft stepped in and said, get rid of Jimmy.
If it was Bill Belichick's decision, Tom Brady would have moved on from Tom Brady.
I believe that. And I think pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. I think Belichick looked at it and thought, listen, we may have to watch Tom win a Super Bowl somewhere else. But I'm not giving up Jimmy Garoppolo, who I think's probably at this point in the league the next star quarterback nobody knows yet.
And then they wind up giving him away for almost nothing.
Second round pick. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.